Good Wednesday morning to you. It is July 26, 2023. It's the day after my sister's birthday. Happy belated birthday, sister. It's in the weeds here on Fightful Overbooked. And I am at Joel Pearl. As always, the one and only Mr. Jeremy Lambert joins me. How you doing, Jeremy?
I'm well. I honestly forgot it was Wednesday. When you're like, good Wednesday. I'm like, is it? Oh, yeah, sure. I guess it is. Happy belated birthday to your sister who I've never met.
It's okay. A lot of people have not met my sister. It's fine. She's closer to your neck of the woods than she is mine. So it's okay. She's doing all right. She had a good birthday. That's all that matters. Happy birthday, sister. We're good. Are you good, Jeremy? How was your Tuesday night? Did you enjoy your NXT?
Loved it. You know, I love NXT. Joel Pearl. NXT is fantastic. It's fan friendly. NXT.
Can you give it the thumbs up while you're at it?
Give a thumbs up to NXT and give a thumbs up on this video, everyone, and subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/FightfulOverbooked or just FightfulOverbooked.com. Andrew Zarian, our pal Andrew Zarian, is here. I hope he's on bath and edibles time right now, because Andrew Zarian justified "You Deserve It" chant for Andrew Zarian being in the bath and on edibles.
Come and join us here on youtube.com/FightfulOverbooked. Like Jeremy said, leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support us in other ways, you can donate a super chat. Any amount, get your question or statement read on the air. And we always support it because we always appreciate your support, because good conversations tend to come from a lot of your super chats. So thank you in advance for those. We got a good show. We got a really fun show. We're going to talk about Judgment Day. We're going to talk about a little bit about Raw. Honestly, I didn't think Raw was all that interesting this past Monday, but I think Judgment Day have been running the table really well, and NXT as well. We're not going to get too deep in NXT. We're going to talk about Judgment Day on NXT, and at 11 a.m. Eastern, this is the big one. Bobby Orlando joins us. Who's Bobby Orlando? Well, he's not the producer record mogul from years past. No, this is Bobby Orlando, the wrestler, the GOATest from Create Pro, and everywhere on the independents. You'll see him this morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. We're going to talk to him. And anything else you want to add about Bobby Orlando, Jeremy?
Yeah, Bobby Orlando rules. That's all I have to add. I'm so excited to talk to him. We put him over on the spotlight. It was a month or so ago. He had a match against Kevin Blackwood that was kind of built, and I forget the name of the promotion that had happened. And my memory is very bad on this kind of stuff, and I apologize to listeners, viewers, anything like that. Did my internet just cut out? Is it good? Are we okay?
Yeah, you're fine. It was earlier cut out, so I vamped.
Yeah, I knew it happened earlier. But it was Kevin Blackwood that he had a match against. I feel like it might have been. It was Garden State is when it was. That match ruled. It was built a lot around just the GOAT Bobby Jr., who I absolutely love. There's such just an energy about Bobby Orlando that I really appreciate, and his music hits and you just start bumping to it. And yeah, I'm excited to talk to Bobby Orlando. He's fantastic.
He's a ball of energy. You said it yourself. We've had a lot of really good balls of energy on this show. A lot of different people, different different personalities on board. So looking forward to talking to him at 11 Eastern. I mean, listen, we can get right into it, but like, do we have to? We're gonna talk about Dynamite, by the way, at the end of the show, because it's Wednesday night, so we got to preview Dynamite. But I mean, Raw this past Monday for me kind of dragged. It wasn't my favorite episode. What do you think overall?
I'm trying to. Yeah, do you like my headline? I finally got something. It took me forever today. I couldn't think of anything halfway decent. And then I remember Finn Balor's great line of 7-year bitch. And I decided, oh no, it's within 5 minutes. Or did I get us demonetized? I'm sorry, Joel Pearl.
It's fine. I already got messages about, covering up F-bombs and censor words already. So it's okay.
Oh, who has messaged you about?
Who do you think?
Do we have to bleep? Like, how much do we?
No. On Sunday, I had put in what the F is Travel Combat, and that was the line for Joel and Cresta. Yeah. And then I changed it like that evening or the next morning, but I don't think I changed the article. So it came up as the same on .com, on Fightful.com. So
Oh.
I got a message from the Eggman being like, hey, don't do that. We're trying to, not have that issue. And I was like, oh, I already changed it on YouTube. So I was like, this isn't a problem. And then I thought, oh no, he probably saw it on the website, and that's where it came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Sorry.
don't use these cursing words, Joel Pearl.
It was the F and then the ad and then the
Yeah, I saw it.
And that's the whole thing, is like, I normally don't, but I also see that there are a lot of YouTubers that do, so it didn't really bug me as much just using it this particular time, because I'm like, they do okay, but then I'm like, they also have like 12 million followers.
Like
they get away with
okay.
murder.
We can't do that. Yeah, you got enough money, you can get away with anything, including murdering, according to Tony Khan.
That's right.
That's just Tony Khan's words, not mine.
Most wild headline. I love how you were like, yeah, no, I stretched the headline limit for this one, the character limit.
Yeah, people were mad though, like, the old, it's football, not soccer, guys. That's what we call it over here. I don't know what kind of accent that is, but they're so mad. I was like, I'm already at like 107 characters for this headline. I did not want to abuse it even more by using football instead of soccer for that headline. That headline was already wildly out of pocket and wildly too long. So apologies to all of our British viewers and everything who call it by its proper name. I will say that, like, it is football. It is not soccer. It is more football than American football, but sorry guys. Sorry.
Why Syllable sends a super chat saying to cover any accidental curse words. Well, thank you. I'll be sure to put it in the swear jar just in case. Okay.
Yeah,
we can do that.
We need a swear jar.
Do we need a swear jar? I think we're pretty good about not swearing too much. I smushed my glasses. I think we're pretty good about not swearing too much on this show, or at least waiting.
I feel like we could still use a swear jar though. What if we started that, Joel? What if we started a swear jar on this show?
So what is it? We go to swearjar in the weeds.com, and it's a Streamlabs platform, kind of like the super chats and the sour chats that Alex and Kate do on their show. Is that what we're gonna do? That's a slippery slope, Jeremy. I don't know if we can get away with that, but at the same time, I don't know if we'd be stopped. Should we do it?
We should. I think we should.
Someone saying Joel without glasses is something. Buddy, I spent a lot of time not wearing glasses in my life. I only gave up and got them maybe 6 years ago. So this,
I don't recognize. You do look weird without glasses, though. I know it's the Joe Gacy look, but you do look very weird without glasses.
My forehead looks exponentially bigger when I'm not wearing glasses. I get it. Okay. Also, my eyes, like I don't have like wide eyes like that.
You brought attention to it now. Oh, I don't want to be mean to you, Joel. But
no, here's the thing though. I do, but I don't have that big of a forehead. Like, it's a really weird. This is a camera trickery angle thing. It's I don't know. It's weird.
You could get a good view of Oppenheimer on that forehead.
And that's why we wear large glasses. Negative 550. Good Lord. Andrew Zarian is blind. He's almost as blind as my wife. She's like -7 or something. It's wild. Coke bottle glasses for my wife.
I wear contacts. I have glasses, but I complete contacts. There are photos of me circulating. The wife has messaged me to be nice to you. There are photos circulating of me in glasses somewhere, I'm sure, but I'm straight contacts.
I think I've seen those photos too.
Have you?
Yeah, I think I have.
No, maybe. I don't wear I've not worn them much, like in Ohio or anything. In North Carolina, my other glasses days. They're out there somewhere.
I see Kate's like 5. She has a 5 head, and that's why she has bangs. Yeah. That makes sense. That tracks.
There's a you ever seen the movie All About the Benjamins with Mike Epps and Ice Cube? No. There's a lot of good forehead jokes in that movie. And that is one of them. Like, you got a 4-head, you got a 5-head. Yeah, that's an easy one. Oh, that's such a good movie. Anybody who's not seen All About the Benjamins, go watch it. Go watch it. Like, that is one of the funniest movies.
I have to go back and watch it. I remember seeing bits and pieces. Now I have to go find it.
Mike Epps, that's like prime Mike Epps too. When he was doing stuff with like Friday, and next Friday and all that stuff. Like, yeah, like, all about the Benjamins. Everybody, not seen it, go see it.
Speaking of not seeing, did you see Monday Night Raw in its entirety, all 3 hours on Monday Night Live?
I did watch the majority of Raw, I think.
That's pretty much how I felt. I ducked out on the last hour and I was like, I'll get back to it. And yeah, I as the friends say, that I Bree-moded through the last hour. I fast forwarded through that final hour. It was what it was.
I'm trying to think what happened on Raw, which is probably not a good sign that I can't remember this stuff. There was Becky Lynch. She earned a rematch against Trish Stratus, although they have not said when this rematch is taking place. I think we assume it's SummerSlam. But you never know. Could be on Raw this upcoming week. Could be the Raw after SummerSlam. Could be WrestleMania 40. Who knows when this rematch is taking place, but it will be taking place, everybody. What else happened? Judgment Day. Yeah, they laid out people. Sorry, I'm getting a lot of messages. I apologize, everyone.
If you go by the 2.5 rule that WWE does, where 2.5 things are memorable on any episode of their programming, I'd probably say the end, the contract signing, laying out Seth Rollins, and the 7-year itch, 7-year BITCH line was good. Yeah, the Becky.
Hasn't he said that before?
Not really. I don't think he has.
I could have sworn he said that in NXT.
I mean, if he has, it would have had to have been recently, the 7-year itch.
Maybe he didn't say 7-year, but like I could have sworn he used that line in NXT. I could be completely wrong, but I feel like that's not like a new line.
I mean, really, listen, the big news coming out of Raw were the injuries, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's
Kevin
really
Owens,
what I wanted to talk about.
Everybody's Kevin Owens is injured. Liv Morgan is injured. These are legitimate injuries. We don't know how long they'll be out, but they are out. They got written off, at least in the case of Liv Morgan. They wrote her out with that beatdown. And Rhea, by the way, was masterful, and so was Liv. We're going to talk about the segment as well. But yeah, the other news, Kevin Owens, of course, there is a rib injury there. We don't know how long he'll be out. It's not like he wrestled last night on NXT, but he's we don't know. We don't know what the timetable is like, but yeah, very, very interesting and very frustrating time for WWE, especially as they're trying to get some of these stories going.
Raquel as well. They said she had a knee injury. I don't know if that one is legit or if that is a kayfabe thing when it comes to Raquel's knee injury, but they said she had a knee injury. We saw Liv. So we talked a little bit last week about the photo with Liv in the sling, and we didn't know how official that was type of thing. And then, they shot the angle on Raw that kind of made it seem like, okay, it's pretty official that Liv has some type of shoulder arm injury. And they definitely did a number on her shoulder on Raw. And then, yeah, Kevin Owens, Sean, and others reported that he's dealing with a legit rib injury, and the attack by Judgment Day was kind of a way to write him off of things for a little bit. We don't know how long anybody is out for. We don't know when people may or may not come back. I mean, SummerSlam is a week away. It's next Saturday. Kevin and Sammy don't have a match anyway. They're not currently booked for that show, which they probably should be. You would think they would face Priest and Dom because that's basically what they've been setting up. But if Kevin's hurt, I don't know if you can do that match. Plus, they just did that match, and like granted, Dom beat Sammy on Raw, so you could still circle back around to it. But they did just kind of do that match, and then when it comes to Rhea, I mean, they've been setting up her and Raquel or Liv, but if Raquel and Liv are both injured, then Rhea has really nothing to do. So it is with these injuries to the other side of things. We're talking a lot about Judgment Day here. Right now, Balor is the only person who's actually booked for SummerSlam, which again is a week from Saturday. They're all over multiple television shows, and only one has a match. Priest has Money in the Bank, so he can get involved kind of whenever he wants to, but Dominic doesn't have a match. He's wrestling at NXT on Sunday. Rhea, who's the women's world champion, doesn't have a match, and Priest doesn't technically have a match. Whether even as a tag team, Dom and Priest don't have a match. They have stuff set up. They have stuff on the table there that they've set up on television, but injuries could take them completely out of this stuff, completely out of SummerSlam.
I don't even know who you can send out there to face Rhea Ripley. That would make sense and also make fans feel like that is a reputable match. Because right now it's like Natty, and we just did that. And you know what? Again, kudos to them, because the match they had on Raw a few weeks back was really good, but we can't run that back. Rhea had a really good match against Lyra Valkyria last night on NXT, but I don't think we can run that at SummerSlam because the story there wasn't about them having a feud. It was actually more of a respect thing and kind of like a Rhea trying to push Lyra Valkyria into being like the next Rhea Ripley, or at least the next dominant female in NXT. So can't do that. I feel like the Raquel situation is a little more strange, just because there's been no news and we don't know if that was a storyline injury or whatever, but she's not there. And honestly, if they bring her back on Monday and they make the match is like, I'm going to go after you for going after Liv, then Rhea's probably going to retain. If they're still pulling the knee injury is a thing, if it's part of the story. It's strange. Nobody really knows what's going on the women's division, and nobody really knows who could get in there and replace for a number one contendership. Zoe Stark, even though she just lost to Becky Lynch. I know there's just nothing that seems to work.
By the way, I'm looking at this Raw women's roster. Yeah, there ain't nobody there that they've built as like a credible person.
Dana Brooke got a big win.
I was gonna say Dana Brooke, like, and Nikki Cross, she just got beat by Baszler in 3 seconds. Candice, Emma, Indy. You're just gonna throw Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, just throw them both at Rhea, and Rhea double stack pin them or something. Like, do that, I guess.
If this were 2011 or 2012 and Rhea's name was John Cena, then they would have sent the entire women's roster out there just to flatten everyone one after one and do a show of dominance.
Piper Nevin.
Honestly, that'd be fine if Rhea came out and said, no one is on my level. I took everybody out. Who's going to face me now? And out comes Piper Niven. And she's like, you ain't beat me yet.
I get Piper hasn't been on TV in forever.
Believe me, I get it. It makes no sense. But Piper being an opposing force, at least like the imagery works. Seeing someone who is like Piper's size and demeanor going up against Rhea Ripley, who is also like a sizable opponent, might be fun. But again, like you said, it's kind of thrown out there, and it'd be very clearly thrown out there. But I mean, it would work for me.
You might be able to do an NXT talent. Like, could you do, let's say Roxanne beats Blair Davenport at Great American Bash in the Weapons Wild match. I know people will probably be upset Roxanne coming up and look, they just had Carmelo Hayes, the friggin' NXT champion, lose to Finn Balor on TV. It's okay if these people lose these matches as long as they're competitive and everything. By the way, Mr. McMahon is listed on the Raw roster on the WWE.com website. I just noticed that. So it's okay if they lose. But you could have Roxanne, if it is like an open challenge type of thing. Roxanne comes out, gets a nice little shine at SummerSlam, has a big moment, probably has a competitive match, loses. I'm okay with that. Based on the rest of this roster, there ain't that many great ideas. If you want to have Rhea involved, maybe Rhea's just not involved. Maybe she just doesn't have a match at SummerSlam. I think I'd say it's a waste, but it's not like they built up anything. If Raquel isn't cleared, like, it's not like they built up anything else. So it's either don't have her involved or do something like that where you do pull up an NXT talent who isn't just completely a non-factor like every other woman on Raw, and have her have a competitive match.
Thea Hale.
That's fine. I'm fine with Thea Hale. I mean, I don't think she's going to win on Sunday against Tiffany Stratton. Again, probably have a competitive match, but I like Roxanne better, assuming she beats Blair, because you want to have somebody technically kind of coming off a win. You don't want to do 2 losses in a row.
By the way, there's a part of me that thinks Sentient Cocaine can actually win that match on Sunday next week.
You think who can win?
Sentient Cocaine. Sorry, I call Thea Hale Sentient Cocaine.
Oh, okay. Why?
Yes, because she is cocaine if cocaine has achieved sentience.
Oh, all right. The match is on Sunday. It's at Great American Bash.
Is it Sunday? I thought it was a Saturday.
Nope. July 30th is a Sunday.
It's going to mess up some things for me.
Yeah. Well, maybe you should realize these things before you start speaking. Ashok says Cora Jade. She just lost to Dana Brooke last night. That ain't happening.
That's enough for nobody to go over.
Yeah. That's not happening. Maybe Raquel's thing is kayfabe, and she will come back, and she will just she'll face Rhea. Like, that's a match they've been teasing. They've done the little pass by, stay out of my business type of thing. So even if it is announced the week of, there's been enough teases to where it's like, okay, this makes sense.
Yeah, that's as good as it gets. But I feel like Raquel is the only one that would work here. But we got to make sure that she's not actually injured. We don't know yet. They kept her off TV this week, so that's that. Okay. And then Kevin Owens, what do we do with the tag titles? You're right. They did not have a tag title match at the last pay-per-view at Money in the Bank. Instead, they faced Pretty Deadly at the SmackDown the night before. It was a great match. It was a long match, had a lot of time, but it's not a pay-per-view match. And it feels like this would have been one of those times where a pay-per-view match is warranted, especially if it was going to be Dom and Priest potentially challenging. I don't know what you do now. Sammy's obviously awaiting orders as well. And I think they want to keep those tag titles on KO and Sammy. But again, it's going to come down to how severe is the injury to Kevin Owens.
I would think they want to keep the belts on those two as well. But yeah, if KO's out for a good bit, then they might have to change plans on that. I hope Kevin Owens is fine, and I hope he can. Look, Kevin Owens is a good enough talker to where he can stay on TV through that. But when you are the undisputed tag team champions, and when you can technically work both shows, you probably want to be able to wrestle every now and again to defend those titles. And I mean, Kevin's whole gimmick is he's going to fight, right? So I don't think he's not a Grayson Waller guy where, hey, Grayson Waller can come out and do his show, never have a match while he has his broken leg until he, of course, finally has a match. Like, Kevin Owens wants to fight people and beat people up for talking too much right now. So Kevin Owens talking a lot doesn't play into his current persona. But you don't always want to see them lose the titles off of an injury either. But maybe that's where they got to go if Kevin is actually banged up. Maybe they unfortunately have to do maybe they do Dom and Priest against Kevin and Sammy, and it is a short match because Kevin legitimately is injured and also in storyline is injured. So they beat him kind of quickly, which would be an unfortunate unfortunate end to the reign. But that might be their option. That might be what they have to do if Kevin isn't able to compete at the level that he would like to compete at in the coming months and everything.
Listen, for the women's tag titles, how many times have they said, find a replacement and you can have the tag title match?
Who's the replacement?
That's the problem. Who hates the Judgment Day enough to want to team with Sammy?
Seth gonna work twice?
That's pretty much the only person
Cody.
I think of.
Cody used to be friends with Sammy and Kevin, right? Yep. And then they just stopped being friends.
That was only for Canada, though. I know they did. I'm just saying it was. I don't know who would
Riddle. Riddle was friends with them.
Oh God, yeah, that's what you want. That's how you surefire lose your tag titles.
Randall coming back, and then Randall turning on Sammy. I don't know if he's joining Judgment Day, but just Randall kind of walking alone inside this pit of danger. That's what it should be. Oh man, big Dick Dave back in the business, baby. Let's go. Oh, Randall though. We love the Randall teases out there.
Every week there's a Randy tease at this point.
Yeah.
You got people being like, oh, if Randy shows up this week, I'm gonna blank. And I'm just like, oh, you're not gonna blank this week either, then I guess. It's strange though, because again, the women have had all these stories where it's like, find a replacement and you can put your tag titles on the line. But for the guys, it's just like, oh, they can't compete. Guess we can't do the match then. It's a very strange thing. Edge is actually a pretty good shout. Edge coming
Oh
up.
no, get that man away from Judgment. I don't need to see that ever in my life again. Ever.
For one night only. I just want to see Sammy and Edge interact where Edge gets so annoyed because Sammy just keeps talking and Edge is just like, I'll see you out there. And then that's the match.
Ray always makes sense if Dom's involved.
Yeah.
Sammy pulls Ray out there.
It's not a bad call. You could do that. And again, it's because it's the undisputed tag titles. You can pick someone from SmackDown and it wouldn't be weird, right? Because the titles are on both shows. So, like, again, the same thing with the women's tag titles. Hypothetically, you could have done the same. So, yeah, you could do the route of finding someone to replace Ray. I mean, I think Ray is going to be facing Austin Theory for the US title the night before on SmackDown, but no confirmation there. It's just my feeling. That being said, you bring in Ray for the tag match the next night. Maybe it's the makeup win for him. Like what? That's the best I could think of. Either Edge or Ray.
Yeah, both of those make sense. Edge or Ray. I had another idea, but I've sold myself on Randall now. Randall being the choice, the big return. He have to do anything. I don't know if he can do an RKO with his. I assume he can do an RKO with his back, but the back is obviously the issue, which wouldn't be good. Is there another? Can they get PCO? Can they get another Canadian out there?
I don't think PCO is available. He just had battery acid thrown down his gullet and then set on fire.
All right,
that's fair.
Bray
is another one.
Let's get Bray in this universe.
That's not.
Why are you a hater on the Bray Wyatt?
Every reason that Steven Jensen is, I kind of subscribe to the same idea.
What about, since apparently he doesn't have any type of story going on nowadays, LA Knight?
Yeah.
I
still have a feeling that LA Knight's going to challenge Austin Theory in an open challenge at SummerSlam and win the US title there.
I hope you're right. You're wrong about a lot of things, but I hope you're right about that.
But I'm also right about a lot of things. It just so happens the things that I'm right about are often like the worst case scenario. Yes. It's like there's one writer or pitch guy that sees it and they're just like, oh, it's awful. Vince will love it. Let's do it. And they pitch it. And then I just look at myself and say, why do I think these things?
What if it's Buddy Murphy?
You know what? I'm fine for it because there is a larger story there. Do they introduce him as representing the House of Black?
Now, what? Hold up. Bad Bunny got tour dates. What's Bad Bunny doing on August 5th? Let's get Bad Bunny out there. What about Marshall Mathers? They're in Detroit. What about Marshall Mathers? Can he come out there and team with Sami Zayn?
No, can he?
Bad Bunny has no tour dates coming up. There we go. Get Bad Bunny for SummerSlam to come out there and be one half of the tag team champions to team with Sami Zayn against Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio. Let's go.
You think Bad Bunny wants to go to Detroit?
I don't think anybody wants to go to Detroit. Like that's just,
Although I did see a lot of friends get all excited that they got their media credentials for SummerSlam.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah, great. Listen, I'm very excited for them. I'm just like Detroit. I guess. Listen, be excited to go to SummerSlam. Don't be excited to be in Detroit. Put it like that. I got a few messages being like, "Hey, are you going to be in Detroit for SummerSlam?" I'm like, "Nope, no, not happening." Like, why not? I'm like, "You said it. It's Detroit."
Yeah, Louis got it. Big Sean. Big Sean ain't doing anything nowadays. Do you know who these people are, Joel Pearl?
Big Sean is obviously Sean Ross Sapp.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Royce the 5'9". Maybe he can come out there. Trick coming out there.
Is that related to Trick Williams?
No, not at all.
Okay, well I tried.
Trick Williams maybe taken the name. I don't know if he took it from Trick. Trick's not like the biggest big time rapper in the world, but get Trick out there. We get some members of D12 coming out there. There's a hip hop scene in Detroit.
Well, yeah, I mean, Shady kind of did that, right?
It was a little bit before him as well.
I was big back in the day. They weren't rap, but they were, that kind of counterculture idea.
What about Sami Zayn teaming with ICP?
I'm down with it. I'm down with it. I'm so into it. Listen, because because I'm just hoping that you saw the tweets. You saw the certain tweet.
We gotta talk about this.
We don't talk about. I don't want to talk about it, but all I'm saying is if ICP is going to show up anywhere, I hope it's there. Given that tweet, that's the only place I want them to show up. Okay.
Cyclops better than Wolverine. I respect the OGs, man. I respect the legends. I know some history. I know some hip hop history.
Look at that shirt he's wearing in the photos. We got the Kiss Britt Baker shirt. Good stuff. I never noticed that before. It's good stuff.
You haven't noticed Cyclops better than Wolverine with his Britt Baker?
No, I'm very aware of Cyclops in the chat, and like we bring up his stuff all the time. Normally he's watching on Twitch.
Oh yeah, I've noticed. Yeah, he that's always been his photo. So.
Yeah, no, I just have because normally I'm bringing up the Twitch comments, but no,
fair.
we got the YouTube ones now.
Fair.
That's hilarious. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, so I guess we're kind of all up in the air for the women's title, the world women's title, and we're up in the air for the undisputed tag titles at SummerSlam. We never knew if the latter was going to be defended on the show anyway, but I guess we'll find out in the coming days. We'll see how bad Kevin's injury is. We wish him the best. We wish Liv the best, hoping that it's a speedy recovery for both. What about the Intercontinental Championship? We saw Drew McIntyre and Gunther go face to face. That's part of my 2.5 things you remember from the show. I personally enjoyed this segment. I'm looking forward to the match. I think those two are going to beat the hell out of each other, and I need Gunther to win because I still want that legendary Intercontinental Championship reign to happen.
I mean, we talked about this when I told the world that Drew McIntyre was going to come back at WWE Money in the Bank and confront Gunther. I correctly called that because I had a scoop. I didn't. But we talked about like, okay, does McIntyre lose kind of his first big match back? And then what happens to Drew after that? Because it would make sense for McIntyre to win, but it also makes sense for Gunther to surpass the Honky Tonk Man's record because he's this close and you don't know when this opportunity is going to come around again. Because obviously you've got to take a year to do this again if you want to do this with somebody else. I think Gunther should break the record. I do. Drew can survive a loss and be okay. You've mentioned the heel turn many times. Drew can certainly do the heel turn. I don't know if beating up Matt Riddle is really a heel turn, but it could be his heel turn by beating up Matt Riddle. Yeah, I think Gunther should win and break the record. And then Drew, it'd be a good direction for him to go heel because he's been babyface for a while now. And he got screwed over with the pandemic. Like that sucked. He didn't get the run that he should have with the title. And then he's just he hasn't been floundering as a babyface. I don't think that's fair because I have enjoyed his work and I really enjoyed a lot of his work coming out of the pandemic, which again wasn't fair to him. He was in a tough situation with that. But coming out of that, like I've enjoyed pretty much everything he's done. But it probably be time to change directions for him for right now.
Yeah, I largely agree. You mentioned it. This was something that I've been talking about for a little while. Is the idea of Drew McIntyre being the heel, being that big old ass whooper, and you know what? Him losing to Gunther could be the first step to that. Being like, I didn't have it. I didn't, I deserved it, but I screwed up. Whatever. Just something that eventually just flips the switch. He gets upset. Does it happen at SummerSlam after the match, or is it something we save for Raw the next night when they are, trying to reset whatever they had after SummerSlam?
They do it. They do it the next night. They have Drew lose. They do a tag team match the next night, and then he beats up Matt Riddle.
They are going to be in Minneapolis that night.
That's unfortunate.
I know, right? A potential site of WrestleMania 41. Was it 41 or 42? Whatever. As reported by FightfulSelect.com. Go read the article.
Yeah, go read the article to find out. Don't take our word for it. Go read the article.
Something about Minnesota. I'm sure. Listen, Rob and Maggie on Friday are probably going to do a solid 35 minutes about Minnesota, and that's okay because Rob is, he is a Minnesotan, so he is going to talk about it on his show. But yeah, go subscribe to FightfulSelect.com to find out about Minnesota Mania.
Minnesota Mania.
That's what they're going to call it. All the papers, all the local papers where no one is a wrestling fan at the local paper, they're going to call it Minnesota Mania. And I am going to use the same vernacular when addressing YouTube headlines.
Fair. They call that place the state of hockey, and they ain't won a championship in ever. So you can't really trust them.
What? Because wait, hold on. They didn't even have the Miracle on Ice there. What is going on?
Yeah, Minnesota. They call themselves the state of hockey, or Minneapolis, I guess technically.
A pretty sore state, if you ask me.
Is the city or the state Minneapolis or Minnesota? Which one's the city? Which one's the state?
Minneapolis is the city. The state is Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
Yes, the Minnesota North Stars were the team at the time, and then they got moved to Dallas.
Yeah, but the Wild.
This was right there.
Minneapolis, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Minnesota Wild never won a championship. They're a trash organization.
No, they didn't. What are we doing?
They call themselves the state of hockey. I don't know. Take it up with the state of Minnesota, Joel. File a complaint.
I'm going to ask that their bid be revoked for WrestleMania at that point.
Could they call themselves the state of wrestling?
I mean, okay, so yes, I would give them that a lot more readily than the state of hockey. Think about the Minnesotans that have come out of come out of wrestling in there. You got Brock Lesnar, you got Rick Rude, you've got who else is there? God damn,
Headache.
Yeah,
Headache come out of Minnesota.
Headache?
Yeah, Curt Hennig.
Oh, Hennig.
Yeah.
Like I said, headache.
No.
It's like, who's got a headache? Yes, Curt Hennig is, yes, the Hennig family is Minnesota. They're the Axe and Kurt, and obviously Joe.
Ventura.
Ventura is another one. There you go. The state of wrestling, I will give that to Minnesota. The Minnesota Wrecking Crew. That's the gimmick.
Yeah. So. Waltman from Minnesota, isn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, Waltman. I assume Lynn as well. If Waltman is there, I just assume Jerry Lynn as well.
Basically, if they were like friends of Wade Keller's, not named Steve Austin, they were probably from the state of Minnesota.
Ken Anderson.
Anderson.
Yeah.
Who else is there? I'm sure you're probably looking at a list right now.
No, my memory is just good.
I thought you said your memory wasn't good.
I mean, sometimes it's okay. Senior Nerd says Flair was on. Flair don't claim Minnesota, so Minnesota can't claim Flair. He claims North Carolina.
The Davaris.
So I'm not counting that.
Yeah, the Davaris. Now I'm looking at a list. It's a long list here. Holy crap.
Oh, okay.
Madcap Moss. Yeah, there you go.
That's your guy. What's he doing?
That's what he's doing.
How's he doing?
He's doing great.
Is he close to any of those titles?
I mean, listen, Sami Zayn needs a partner. He's your guy.
When was the last Madcap Moss televised match, Joel? Can you name it off the top of your head?
No, not at all.
Come on. No, let's do this.
Probably one that him and Emma hyped him up for.
When do you think? Let's take a guess. Take a guess of the last Riddick Moss television match, not main event. Raw or
not television main event. Oh my god. I now have it in front of me.
Oh well, come on, Joel. Quit being a cheater.
Well, no, because sometimes I just need to get this information. Are you ready for it?
I know what it is because I looked it up because I thought you were gonna guess, and then you were cowardly and you looked it up yourself. You killed the segment.
Oh no, I didn't kill anything. The only thing I got was that Riddick Moss last appeared on Raw in May.
Sean, Joel's ruining the show.
Yeah, it's par for the course.
What's new?
How are your eggs this morning, Sean?
Well, I'm switching to egg whites for a while.
Why?
Why? No reason. Definitely not anything I'm doing in December. It has nothing to do with that. But just switching to egg whites for a while. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that like when Joel first got a spot here at Fightful, like in his pitch, he was like, I can ruin many things for you. Better than anyone else can ruin them. And I said, well, you know what? Okay.
It was either me or another bearded white guy. Take your pick.
And I'm only partially bearded right now.
I can see that.
So,
what is this shave you have going on?
It's not a shave. Shave would imply no hair. It'd be a terrible razor.
What is this trim you have going on?
Whoa, sir, that sounds kind of personal.
How much to pay to get your shirt off, Sean? Andrew Zarian would like to see you shirtless.
10,000 subscribers on Select today, and I'll do it.
On Select, are we not at 10,000 on Select?
No, we hover between 8 and like 9,000 usually.
Oh, every time we hit 10, I just ask for a raise. So yeah, let's hit 10 and
probably stop doing that. I'm out.
10,000 and Sean does a topless.
That's the easiest way to get Sean go away is just bring up that
money.
We want more money, and he's like, I'm not having this conversation.
Bye-bye. I think it would be hilarious if he does a topless Q&A for 10,000 subscribers. That's
there
it.
You go.
We're gonna do it.
Everybody subscribe to Fightful Select if you would like to see Sean Ross Sapp without a shirt.
I was just thinking to myself, I'm just like, has he ever wrestled top? No, he always had a shirt on of some sorts. At least on the televised one.
I can't say that my Sean Ross Sapp scouting report is that high. When I've gone back and watched his previous matches, I do look forward to whatever he's definitely not doing in December, though.
I figured that he was just eating now so that he could lean out. Then he doesn't have to worry about the food he eats around the holidays.
Oh, that's fair. That's probably what it is.
That's what I thought it was. That's what I would be doing. That is just good planning and meal prepping.
That sounds awful. Somebody please buy me some Bojangles or something and send it to my house here in Ohio. I don't want to give any of you people my address, but just send me food. All right. Send me pizza. Pizza's an easy one.
Pizza would be great. That'd be nice. I had to go out to the store early this morning and I passed by a McDonald's. So I got the McDonald's breakfast burritos.
I've never had those.
Yeah, no, they do like a 2-pack for like $4.50.
Okay.
They're okay. They're really cool. If you're in a hurry and you're needing something quick, then they're good to have. So good.
I'll go McDonald's McGriddles all day. Those are fantastic. Do they still do all day breakfast? If not, they should definitely 100% bring that back.
So most of the locations, yes, but then they kind of like trim the menu a bit too. So there's a more robust breakfast menu during breakfast hours, and then they'll cut it down during the day.
Trey Jones asking, is Bojangles that good? Yes, Bojangles is friggin' fantastic, and I miss it being here in Ohio. I got a McDonald's story for you, Joel. So yesterday, I was asked to pick up the McDonald's for the family, and so I go. You know how many people are in my family, Joel. I go to McDonald's and I order all this food, and I'm like, can I get a 20? They got a meal. It's like 20-piece nuggets, 2 large fries for like $11, which is a good little deal, honestly. Trey Jones says it's mid here in Maryland. Nah, you gotta go down to the North Carolina Bojangles. Maryland probably doesn't know how to do that. They're seafood, right?
I was gonna say, like they're like the Jimmys and get your Long John Silvers at that.
Right. Yeah. They probably don't have a good Bojangles in Maryland. Go to North Carolina, get that. So I'm like, can I get the 20-piece nugget meal with 2 large fries? And they're like, it's just me in the car, by the way. And they're like, hey, is that all? I was like, no, can I get a number 5 with a large sweet tea? I'm like, is that all? Can I get 2 hamburgers? And the guy's getting frustrated at that point. He's like, is that everything? I was like, can I also get a cheeseburger? He's like, is that everything? Can I also get a medium fry on top of that? Like, is that everything? And can I get a double cheeseburger as well? That's everything. And they're like, is that everything? I was like, yes, that's sure. And he's like, are you sure? I was like, yes, that's everything. And then I pull around, and it, of course, takes a while. That's a lot of food to order. And the lady was very nice. She was very apologetic. She's like, I'm so sorry your food took so long and everything. I was like, no. Like, I know it's only me in the car, but I'm getting for this many people. And like, oh, that makes sense. That's understandable of why you ordered so much. They see one person in the car, and I'm ordering for a lot more than one person. And this happens every single time because I go out and I get food for the family. And every single time when it's just me in the car and I'm ordering for this many people, the people at the drive-thru are like, how is one person ordering all this? What are we doing that this one person is spending $40 on McDonald's? What is happening? What kind of party is it? I'm surprised, people aren't just like, what kind of party you having tonight, man? What kind of stuff you getting into where you're eating that much?
They think you've already gotten into this stuff, and they are saying that you're under the influence while driving, getting that stuff taken care of. And then my other favorite is it's McDonald's. They're going to be ornery about most things.
They were very nice about it, though. Again, the lady was super apologetic that like it took so long. I was like, I realized I just ordered $40 of McDonald's food. I know it's fast food, but I don't expect to get all of this in like 10 seconds. Like I know it's gonna take a while to cook. Like I know a lot of it's like pre-cooked or whatever. I know it's gonna take a while to do like 5 hamburgers and 30 McNuggets and 4 things of fries. I know that's not going to be done in 2 minutes. I get it. I understandable of all that.
I'm thinking to myself, you're when it was the pandemic, it was really hot one summer, and we went to go stay with my in-laws. Because our air conditioning wasn't working or something was going on. Things were messed up. Anyway, long story short, we ended up going to McDonald's. It was like a family of 7 plus, I think the grandparents were there. And it just like became like this big, I remember getting the bill, just being like, this is a McDonald's. What the hell are we paying for? Like it was a $60, $65, $70. I was like, what is this? Yeah, that's what happens now. Because
somebody posted
cheap, man.
Somebody posted like the $1 McDonald's menu the other day, and it's like, yeah, you can't get any of this stuff anymore. They do have the menu of like buy one get one for $1, and like that's not terrible, but it used to be like most of this food just cost $1, and now like nothing costs $1.
No, man, the McDouble when it came out was like, what was it? It was like $1.99, and now it's $2.69.
Yeah. It's outrageous. No, absolutely outrageous.
My breakfast burritos. This is kind of my favorite thing. Is they come with the little tab sticker on it, and it says when they were made, and it's said it like I bought it. It was like 9 a.m. or 9:15, and it said like 7:30 on it, 7:30 a.m. And then it also has a best before, and the best before on it was like 20 minutes later. Like, is this not safe for anybody?
I've never had the McDonald's breakfast burrito. For the longest time, Taco Bell has done breakfast food for a while. And like I'd always wanted it, and just never got it. Finally, one day I decided to go get it. And then there's 2 Taco Bells near us. One absolutely sucks. It's an awful experience. There's like no one there. The customer service is bad, and it's okay at like dinner time and stuff. But like if you go to that place before like 1 o'clock, you're getting no help on this. I didn't even know they were open. Like I sat in the drive-through line for like 5 minutes of like, hello, anybody here? And so I finally pulled around. And then there's just a person like at the cash register, one person, probably the only person there. No cooks or anything. And then finally I just went away because just awful service. I went to the other one, but I was like, this is just what's going to happen. I want this Taco Bell breakfast burrito, and I'm not going to be able to get it. The universe is against me on this day where I want this breakfast burrito. I finally went to the other one and got my breakfast burrito. Wasn't bad. The Taco Bell breakfast burrito is the thumbs up. We'll give it a thumbs up.
I'm going to have to go find it because I know there isn't one anywhere near me, Taco Bell's or anything like that. There's a really good couple of really good Mexican restaurants near me, but they are not open for breakfast. I can literally see that McDonald's like right there, the one that I was at, because like some of you may have seen. I posted a photo a while ago of like my setup / me at my desk, and yeah, there's a big window ahead of me. But yeah, I can like see up the street where everything is that I go to.
I mean, you know where we're located at, Joel, where the wedding was, and like all the stuff that is around that venue and everything. You know, we're very close to that, so all of that is within walking distance to us. It's very convenient that we have so much around us that we could just walk. Okay, we want McDonald's for dinner, Taco Bell. We don't have this every night, by the way, but you know, some nights it's just like I don't feel like cooking. Let's just go.
I get it.
At McDonald's.
One of the reasons why I love living in Toronto is because I am close to things that I can walk to. And even like the grocery stores nearby have like prepared meals that I can pick up, 10 minutes down the road, stick it in the oven or the microwave, whatever I buy, and it's good to go. I do most of the cooking in the house. So like there are some days where I'm so busy that I just don't have the time. And typically this would lead into some sort of ad read for a sponsor that we have. So if you want to sponsor us, food-based sponsors, go ahead and get at us. Email myself or Jeremy, or find us on the internet. Okay.
I would love for some type of food to friggin' sponsor us and just send a bunch of food to my house so I can feed the 300 children that we have.
This is an orphanage. What are we doing?
The wife is no, I'm not gonna
I don't think you can do this.
any of that. There's a bit that the kids will do with her, but I don't want people to actually take this bit serious. So
it is wrestling fandom, so maybe we won't do it. Pro Wrestling Podcast sends a super chat saying the J&J show is underway. Buddy, we've been at it for almost an hour. Good morning, friends. He saw my tweet from last night about Booker T on commentary. And it's basically, at this point, all I hear when Booker T is on commentary is, yeah, or oh, yeah, oh,
he makes noises.
He just speaks in noises.
Yeah, he just makes noises.
Oh,
Booker T is like, he's fine when it comes to this. I can understand why people are just like, yeah, what does he add to the broadcast and stuff? He's energetic though. I've very much learned to tune out commentary. I very much learned to tune out all commentary on like all programs. I know people were mad at Corey Graves and his Ludwig Kaiser impression. Was it good? Was it bad?
One person was upset about it, and he just thinks that he's stealing his bit.
Yeah. Well, I saw other people who were mad about it too, who were like, no, this is stupid. Then I saw a lot of people who like really liked it and everything. So it was a little mixed. I was like, sure, he's doing it. It's fine. I tuned out commentary so long ago. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I don't hear it. I don't like it. I can't think of the only stuff that like pops me is when Michael Cole gets super mad at Dominic Mysterio or when he's bantering with Bayley. That's it.
I get it. I do. I can't get it out of my head because I am an active listener when it comes to wrestling. And sometimes I walk away with my headphones on while I'm listening, or while I'm watching a show, I'll walk away and do something. So I'm still listening to the commentary. I've said it once, said it a million times. I'm certain that Booker was brought into the fold because of the podcast he was doing, because at the time he was spending so much time getting so much engagement from shitting on developmental, on the wrestlers on the roster at the time, that they said, hey, here's some money, come back and work for us and maybe do some guest spots at the PC. And, better to have them in the tent pissing out than outside of the tent pissing in. And I think that's really just what they saw with Booker. He's a guy who's been around. They trust him in certain ways, but they also wanted to curb his engagement when it came to how he feels about NXT and certain talent at the time.
I think Booker can be valuable to have. Like, I don't know if he needs to be on commentary, but he can be valuable to have to just at the Performance Center. I mean, say what you will about Booker, but he's got a good reputation as a trainer, and it seems like a lot of people like him and respect his opinion and value his opinion and everything. And does that mean he needs to be a commentator? Probably not, but you could have, there's certainly value for him at the Performance Center.
Yeah. Keep him off of commentary, but have him in the PC. That's my feeling. It's like, there's so many opportunities with Booker in front of a microphone for 2 hours or more in the case of a PLE. Ain't it?
He should just do the Black Snow all on commentary. That's it. Just be Black Snow on commentary. That's all I care about. You don't need to do Booker T. Just be Black Snow.
Just do the King Booker again. Put that accent out there. It's fine.
It's fine.
And by the way, Mark Hoke is in the chat. Go check out Mark Hoke's radio show, the Pro Wrestling Radio Show. And he's saying, Reality of Wrestling is a terrific promotion. Yes, it is. There's a lot of good stuff at Reality of Wrestling. Booker T puts a lot of good work into that, him and his team. We're not making fun of Booker T, the anything but the commentator. That's the problem, is Booker T on commentary. Everything else is great.
You're a hater of Booker T. I hope he rants at you on his podcast. I hope he
I do too.
calls you out.
I hope he does too, because then I can use the clicks and engagement for this show, and we can invite Booker on, and we can do a whole thing.
I'd love to have Booker T on. I wouldn't ask him a single thing about NXT commentary, but Booker T's definitely got some stories. He's been around the business for a very long time, been involved in a lot of memorable stuff. I'd love that Booker on.
So many WCW stories to ask about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. I want to do that. Let's get Booker T on the show.
Do you think Booker would join our show?
Yes.
And we can ask Muscle Man Malcolm. Malcolm just interviewed Booker. Maybe he can get us a hookup.
Where did he interview him at? At Reality Wrestling?
Reality of Wrestling, yeah.
Okay, he did. Okay, that's what I thought, because I was thinking like he did it. He wrestled. Wow. Malcolm interviewed a bunch of people at different shows. I think one he was at MCW, and then the other one was at Reality Wrestling. Am I right?
Yes.
He was running around. Good on Malcolm. Hardworking dude.
Malcolm this is breaking news that not even Joel Pearl knows about. Malcolm scheduled to join the show on Monday.
Oh, good. Looking forward to that.
There you go.
Glad I said nice things.
Yes. I'm going to tell him you said very mean things, though. Well,
no, that sounds about right. I'll just be like, yeah, you got to go find it. But I did say mean things about Malcolm.
Yeah. Tell him you said mean things.
We're waiting. In a couple of minutes, we're going to have Bobby Orlando joining us. Who is Bobby Orlando? Jeremy Lambert, who is the GOATest. Bobby Orlando.
You said it. He's the friggin' GOAT. That's who Bobby Orlando is.
Not the
I hope Bobby Jr. is here. It will be joining him as well. But Bobby Orlando, you've probably seen him on various independent shows, I imagine, if you watch enough independent wrestling, as you should. But Bobby Orlando, he's the GOAT. He's been on stuff like Wrestling Open, Create a Pro. He just wrestled at Prestige this past weekend. Wrestles for like Garden State. He's wrestled a lot of the top names on the independent scene as well. Absolute character, and just seems like a very fun guy. And I'm excited to talk to him. Hopefully here in a couple minutes.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Is there anything else from Raw that's worth mentioning as we kind of wrap that up?
From Raw, I don't know what happened on Raw.
That sounds about right.
Cody Rhodes.
Oh yeah, he did show up and do his Brock, I'm gonna beat you.
No stipulation added.
Oh, nothing yet.
No, you think it's coming?
I think so, but also there's got to be. There has to be. You can't keep doing this. I don't know. Like they blew off the Seth match with Hell in a Cell, the Seth feud. Yeah. They got to do something with Cody and Brock. Even on, again, maybe if it's the big go home reveal, that's okay. It feels like there's a lot of big go home reveals they're gonna have to come up with, but that's kind of where I'm at. Is they got to. It feels weird not doing it. Brock's going to be on Raw next week. They have advertised him as returning, so I don't see why not. I wouldn't be surprised if Brock is also on Raw the next night or after SummerSlam, because they're in Minneapolis. And again, we just talked about this. Brock is formerly a Minneapolis native, so I don't see why they wouldn't do a match, like a stipulation match.
It looks like they're getting Baszler and Rousey in the fight pit because they're going to fight. So that, I didn't think Cody and Brock made sense for that anyway. But I understand why people may have leaned a little bit towards that. I know the bull.
Why? Why did you think people were leaning? Because of Brock's UFC career?
Yeah, because of Brock stuff. Like people just thought that, oh, Brock fight, let's go, type of thing. I think that's why people were leaning towards it. But most people seem to be leaning towards some type of like bull rope match, or strap match, something like that. And they haven't done anything with like a strap or a bull rope though. Like they haven't like teased any of this stuff. Like the only thing they've really teased is basically a no DQ match, but we're getting that in Tribal Combat. That's a no DQ match. So what do we need another one for?
Well, no, because the world needs more no DQ matches.
So fans can chant, "We want tables."
They do that during normal matches too. If you watch the Drew McIntyre versus
that chant.
Ludwig Kaiser match.
I hate that chant.
What if they say this is wrestling, but it's not actually wrestling?
I prefer that over "We want table." I don't like the "We want tables" chant. I think it's the dumbest chant in wrestling right now. Like you see tables all the time, When they were chanting that for blood and guts, it's like, what are we doing? They have thumbtacks. They have a bed of nails. Why are we chanting "We want tables" in a blood and guts match? We want fire. That was a good chance. But why were we chanting "We want tables" for that match? I can't stand it.
Did you see there was a video going around, by the way? WCW Thunder in the 2000 era.
Yes.
When they were doing the Vampiro and Sting thing,
Yes.
and Peacock has the original masters up, but the original airing was a retape that they spliced together, and the original was much better. I love it.
Yeah, it ruled. It absolutely ruled. Bless WCW. What a company.
Bless WCW, and bless our guests. If they're ready, they'll give us a thumbs up to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as promised, as we delivered, he is the Creative Pro Television Champion, among a plethora of other championships that he holds. July 30th, this Sunday, he's going to face off in a tag team match, tagging with Dr. Cool to take on Birds of the Sun at Creative Pros Beyond Boundaries, Knights of the Columbus in Linwood, New York. Ladies, gentlemen, it is the GOATest. It's Bobby Orlando. How you doing, Bobby?
Do I still have to do the thumbs up or no?
Yo, keep him up.
You do whatever you want, Bobby.
Oh, I am here. I am outside. I don't have as professional as a studio as you guys, but it's a beautiful morning here on this Wednesday.
Yes, allegedly.
Allegedly Wednesday. It's a great day to be alive and to be on this show with you, with my friends.
We're happy you are here. How is Bobby Jr. doing?
He's here.
There we go.
He's here. He's enjoying the sun. Not too much sun. We don't want to overdo it, but he's getting a good tan.
We're happy Bobby Jr. is here because rough moments earlier this year. Jerk Kevin Blackwood stealing him, having to battle him. Didn't like any of that. We made up in the end. Kevin Blackwood, he's a vegan. All he wanted to do was make sure he was safe. It was a first time matchup. We've never really, stepped toe to toe in the ring before. He didn't know my intentions. I didn't know his. And at the end, we made up. And now we are both friends. Me a little more, but we're both friends with Bobby Jr. Good to hear. Bobby, talk to us about Creative Pro Wrestling. A lot of top talent have come out of there. Yeah, there we go. A lot of top talent like Max Caster, who's part of the Shook crew as well. Obviously, MJF, Brian Myers, one of the trainers there. Pat Buck, one of the trainers there. I know I'm forgetting a bunch of names, so you put me on the spot with the numbers here.
There's a bunch. Chris Statlander.
There you go. Chris Statlander
Bronson,
as well.
Boulder.
There you go. So
Smart Mark.
Pro.
A lot of people.
Creative Pro, they do create professional wrestlers. Yes, they do create professional wrestlers. Tell us about training there and working with all those talents.
So I've been training there for now about 6 years, 6.5. Well, there's a crazy bird in the background. I've been training there, based out of Hicksville, Long Island, New York. So for anyone watching who's in the area, even if you're 2-3 hours away, I did a 2-hour commute there for about 3 years at one point. Definitely worth it. I know it's super biased, but definitely one of the top schools in the Northeast, if not in the country. There's a bunch of great other places in the area, but for me, I am very happy with the decision I made, and I really don't think I'd be the person or the wrestler I am today without them. Head trainers, Brian Myers, Pat Buck, but definitely, I was under the learning tree of other people there too, because once you kind of graduate, the more veteran students, they take you under their wing and they teach you too. Like Max Caster, I owe a lot of credit to with training me in the beginning. VSK is another one. So there's just, everyone there. If you put in the work, you'll get out so much more than you could ever dream of.
It seems like a family. It seems like a family as well, just because Max Caster still comes back to Beyond to team with everybody. MJF was back at Creative Pro just a couple months ago doing a match.
Taking on Leo Sparrow, who I will be taking on this Sunday.
There we go. Oh, it seems like you guys are just very tight, and everybody just remembers where they came from on that. I imagine that bond is pretty strong.
Definitely strong. I mean, in wrestling in general, even people who didn't train at Creative Pro, it's still it's still wrestling is like a family. It's one of the hardest things anyone could ever put their bodies through, their mind through. And it's kind of you're all connected and bonded over this passion you have. but definitely Creative Pro is more than just a school to me. It's a family. Yeah, like I can go on and I don't want to take up too much time, but I can definitely go on and on about how much I just love Creative Pro and how much Creative Pro has done for my life. Hands down, the best decision, not just in wrestling, but the best decision I've ever made in my life.
So take me back to your first days at Creative Pro. Like, this was obviously a big change for you and a big opportunity for you. What was it like? And like, what were the moments that kind of stand out to you from your beginnings there?
Definitely the nerves were high. I don't really get that nervous. I'm pretty, I got some good self-esteem. I'm pretty confident in my abilities, but definitely nerve-wracking. It's a big change in your life. It's something I've always dreamed of doing, because most wrestlers nowadays, they've been wanting to do it their whole life. So it's definitely something I've been thinking about for a long, long time, ever since I became a fan of wrestling. So it was more or less going into the first day of training thinking, okay, I'm either going to find out today if this is for me or if it's not for me. And that was the scariest part, was because if it wasn't going to be for me, I don't know what else I probably would be doing right now in my life. So I was like, all right, let's see how this goes. And I fell in love with it. It wasn't like, there's some people that walk into Creative Pro and it's like first day, it's like, oh my God, this person's going to be like a superstar. I walked in, I was like, okay, this is like something I could probably do. And over time, if you just keep putting the work in, hard work never goes unnoticed. And repetition is key. If you go to train, you need to go, I suggest, at least 3 days a week for at least a year straight. I know it's a lot of wear and tear in your body, but if you don't give up, you're going to see results. And that's what a lot of people who put in the work do. And that's what I did. So, it's kind of like mental preparation. So the first couple of weeks of training was definitely, okay, don't quit, keep pushing forward. It's going to get hard, but the good times outweigh the bad. That's what I could say.
Talk to me about television wrestling. You've been on AEW TV before. You've been on Rampage and then the Dark and Dark Elevation, everything. I imagine those opportunities came up through Pat Buck and through Creative Pro and everything. But just television wrestling in general, because to me, you're made for television. Like you have all of that down. Like, I think you should be on TV every week, and you're on like Beyond every week, which I think is a very underrated television show on AEW TV. But just the differences between just a kind of quote unquote random indie match and then kind of more of television wrestling.
So like, what's like the difference between the two?
Yeah.
There's a lot more people, but more or less, it's pretty much the same. It's like the whole goal is to, the matches, the intention going in is what you're trying to do on the indies versus television. Go out there and have, the best performance you can, try and walk out with a dub. But at the same time, definitely a lot more pressure when it comes to the fact that it's like, okay, there's definitely a lot more people watching this. But before those matches, I kind of had to like let those go outside my mind and just be like, okay, you know what you're doing. You've had 500 whatever plus matches. Like, why is this going to be different? I mean, it's a lot different, but that was the mentality I went going into it. Like, okay, you know what you're doing. You're a wrestler. You've wrestled matches. Just have a wrestling match. And that's what it is at the end of the day, but with more cameras and more people watching. So once you just eliminate the fact that there's that pressure, it's like the back of your hand or whatever you call it. I don't know. Analogies, whatever.
You've been the Creative Pro TV champion now. You're the third longest reigning. You've got over.
There's a mosquito on me.
No, I thought you were going to pat yourself on the back. I thought we were doing.
No, well, I'll do that too.
You've held that title for almost. We're getting on close to a year now. First of all, how's it feel? Because you're third longest. If you get to a year, then you're going to be second longest. And on top,
I did not know those statistics.
Yeah, the only person that you're Eric James, who was the second champion, held for 357. Slade held it for 422. You're at 312. This is all cage match. So as of right now, you're sitting in third. Let's say you keep building. Let's get to that number one. But how does it feel? You're that TV champion. There's obviously a trust in there, and also pinpoint some of your favorite defenses of that TV title.
Can I start with that the defenses part?
Of course. Start wherever you want.
Not only one of my favorite defenses, probably my favorite match of all time. I recommend anyone check it out. It was probably one of the most proudest matches I'll probably ever have for a long time. I'm not saying of all time, but for a long time, this will be at the top. It was myself versus Aaron Rourke in an I Quit match. My first ever I Quit match. One of, if not the most violent matches I've ever been a part of. It was at Creative Pros Oh Baby event. I know, what a violent match for such a violent show name, but Heath Slater was on the card, so it was very apropos. But it was Creative Pro from this past year, or this year technically, February of 2023. It was Oh Baby. It was myself and Aaron Rourke. We went about 20 minutes in the main event, in one of the most hard hitting. Like, we've wrestled a million times, so we knew we were going to create something special. But I think coming out of it, we didn't realize how intense and how magical it was going to be. But it really was one of the things, like one of those moments where I was like, all right, this is why I'm the champion. This is why I do what I do. And I can't say any bad things about that match. That's one of my favorite matches of all time. But one of my favorite parts of being the Cap TV champion is because Cap TV is something that the Creative Pro Wrestling Academy kind of created for the YouTube channel, especially kind of like our little mini series, because we can't do shows every week. So it was something we created for the YouTube channel to put out episodes every Monday. And I was kind of a big part of starting that in the beginning, about 4 or 5 years ago. And through that, we created a Cap TV championship. So seeing something blossom from the ground up that I was a part of since day one, and now to be at the top of that is something I hold very near and dear to my heart. And I don't take for granted. Let's get to 1,000 days. No one will ever beat that.
I wanted to ask about any feedback from your time at AEW, whether it was from a wrestler or Tony Khan or producer or coach or anybody.
Yeah, after I've wrestled many people, not many people. I've had a few matches there, but definitely the people you wrestle, I'll say Matt Hardy's one of the biggest ones. That was my most recent one. I was in a tag match with him and Isaiah Cassidy, and obviously wrestling Matt Hardy, you're gonna want to hear what he has to say. And super nice guy. He let me know all these little details after the stuff, and people there are super respectful and super nice. So I take every little bit of information I can get. So to answer your question, yes, the people I've wrestled, I've definitely gotten information and feedback from. That's the word I was why couldn't I think of feedback? It's still a little early for me. Haven't had my coffee. I may have a lot of energy, but boy, once I have that caffeine, we go crazy. Get that cup of coffee.
This is Bobby off of coffee. So imagine him on coffee.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I mean, I was going to ask what do you do to hype yourself up before a match, but I think we're already there. We don't have to.
I literally ask anyone. I just say as loud as I can in the locker room. It's crazy. I probably have scared a few people. I've probably broken a few panes of glass, but with my voice, I just punch a wall. No, just yell. It makes everything so much better.
I want to ask about your theme song, which I believe was done by Max Caster, Platinum Max. This song, immediately it comes on, you hear the goat sounds, and I get hype just off of this song alone. So tell me about
too. Me and you both, my friend.
Oh, I saw you at an AEW event, and I was like, oh man, that thing came on. I was rocking out to it immediately. Tell me about putting this song together with Max.
So Platinum Max Caster, part of the Acclaimed, has done many has made many songs. But I think his what would you call it? What do you say when it's an artist, their magnum opus? Or their Mona Lisa? I don't know. I'm trying to sound smart. I'm not that smart. But I think this is biased opinion. I think it's one of his best. But he's one of the most talented, not just wrestlers. He's the best wrestler alive, but he's probably one of the most talented artists I know. And he created this song. Him and also my Shook Crew tag team partner Bryce Donovan helped write it too. And it was a collaborative effort. The only part I came up with was the Bobby is the GOATest, Bobby is your mom. This is the Bobby Orlando song. And I gave them that information and I said, do what you will. And they came up with the rest of it. So the beat, the lyrics, the flow, everything, thanks to them. But definitely, I will never, ever change that music unless it's they're like, no, we can't. But I want that to be my theme song for the rest of my life. I think we struck gold. It gets me so hype.
Talk to me about Bobby Jr. there. I know there's got to be a backstory of Bobby Jr. Come on. That cute little thing.
He's a cute little thing, you know. So I am the GOATest of all time. No argument there, right? No argument.
Tops, I agree.
100%.
He's the GOAT. And so one day I was like, you know what? I need a little friend in my life to help me, you know, because whenever you go to the ring, you're going in alone. And whether you want to disagree with me or not, but having that little help in your back pocket comes in handy. So why not have someone there to always support me emotionally, and if he has to get a little dirty, physically as well, and go, you know, because like goats are known for their headbutts, so they go right there in the head. I've used him I have thrown him over the top rope, and hopefully he does like a cool backflip or something over the top rope to help me out. But essentially, I just needed something to really get the point across that when I walk through the curtain, you think, wow, this guy's crazy. But it's essentially something that I was just like, you know what? Why not have a stuffed goat? So he's my friend.
Would you also call him your emotional support goat?
No, of course.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
And I mean, but the problem with the GOAT, with Bobby Jr., and not a problem, but it maybe an issue, is people want to harm him, and then that's no good. That's no good. This is why Kevin Blackwood got on my nerves so much.
Hold on, I don't want.
Blackwood got on my nerves.
No. He didn't want to hurt him. He wanted us to protect him. But there have been times where people have gone out of their way to hurt little poor Bobby Jr., who, even though he's about 5 feet away from me right now, he could probably still hear me. So close your ears, Bobby Jr. I think it's mind games. Because what hurts more than seeing something you love get destroyed and there's nothing you could do about it? There's been times where I've been hung up on the ropes. There's been times where I've been held by other people, and they just want to get in my head. And you ever see like movies where it's like, take me instead, where like they're about to take someone's like friend or lover or like brother or something like that? Those are those instances where it's like, no, take me instead. But they don't want you instead. They want Bobby Jr. So I think it's just mind games. And I think they think it's going to be like, oh, we'll get like a cool gift out of this or something like that. Like, let's beat up a goat, a poor defenseless goat. We're trying to avoid that at all costs. I do this new thing now where I'm like, okay, if I know it's going to be a tough challenge, I'll give him to someone maybe in the front row. I'm like, can you please take care of Bobby Jr.? So he's still right there if needed, but he's under the protection and the watch of the fans. So we've kind of figured it out by now.
You can't trust some of these fans. You can't trust some of these fans, Bobby.
It's true. You know, if it's like they're like so some of the places I go to, there's always some fans who are like, they're there at every show, big supporters, everything like that. They come up. I love talking to people at the merch tables. We've made connections at the merch tables. We talk. So I'm like, okay, I can trust you. That's when I give them the goat.
See, Jeremy, this is what I like about Bobby. He's very in tune with keeping the people around him safe. He's understanding of who needs to be, you know, in that inner circle, that precious inner circle. It makes sense.
Yeah. That's a different crew, Joel. He's part of the Shook crew, not the inner circle.
Yeah, you're right.
A different
do this in my mind.
Would you do a version of that song in a Tony Bennett style? Because it sounds like you were about to croon the Judas song.
No, I cut myself off because no one wants to hear me sing.
Oh, well, maybe one day we'll get that. But we do see a lot.
Maybe.
We'll see you a lot on Wrestling Open. Talk to me about the experience, because you've been doing a lot of appearances through Wrestling Open.
So remember before when I talked about how I started Cap TV and I was there since day one? Wrestling Open, baby. Before Wrestling Open never existed, Beyond Wrestling did this series called Uncharted Territory. I couldn't talk for a second. Uncharted Territory. But that was a seasonal program. Wrestling Open is sort of exactly almost the same as Uncharted Territory, only it's a weekly thing, not just seasonal. every Thursday forever. So for almost, it's been like 2 years straight of just every Thursday has been an episode of Wrestling Open. And I think we just hit 81 or 82 episodes. I've probably been there for 70 of them, which is a lot of driving, but it's something I love to be a part of. The atmosphere there, the environment. It's at the White Eagle in Worcester, Massachusetts. I've had some of my favorite matches there. And man, it's on IWTV. I'm sure a lot of people listening know of it, but even if you know of it, if you haven't watched it before, I just check it out. Give it one episode, give it one watch. Either go back in the archives, it's all there, or watch tomorrow. I'll be there. But yeah, it's something that's completely different than anything else in independent wrestling. It's like a weekly television series. There's storylines, there's epic matches, there's, everything you could want in a wrestling show and more. And the fans really make it just as much special because, even if you're going just to have a good time, like there's a bar there, there's some people who don't really watch wrestling in general, but they'll go and say like, oh, I just came to like hang out and drink with my friends and now I'm hooked and I want to watch more wrestling. So it's really a gateway for more people to become fans as well. So in that whole shebang I gave you, take what you will and give it a try if you can. I'll just plug my match tomorrow. It's going to be myself and Bryce Donovan versus Culture Inc., a first-time ever tag match. We've wrestled a bunch of tag teams on the indies, so it's getting a little bit harder to have first-time evers. This is a first-time ever, so watch it if you may.
I was going to ask how you found yourself over at Beyond, how you got to there.
So in wrestling, there's most of the time, if there's a certain promotion you really want to be a part of, you're going to show it out and support. So I started going out there just to help show support and help set up the ring because there was a lot of Creative Pro guys like MJF, Chris Statlander. All these guys would be going to Beyond, and I'm like, oh, I want to be there. So I would go with them or I'd drive by myself, mostly uncharted territory. This was back in now like 2018, 2019. And I would help set up the ring. I would help handle the merchandise. I would be security for some stuff. And from there, they were just like, you know what? You've been helping out. Like you've been showing like you care about this company, which I do. And they're like, okay, let's give you a shot. So I got a spotlight match, which was the match filmed before the actual show. And what they used to do is they would have the wrestlers that were going to be on the card later go out with their phones and they would stream it on like Instagram Live or Facebook Live, and they would stream it on their phones. So not only do you have the pressure of the fans and also wanting to do well, you have all of your fellow peers that are on the show later filming you have your first match at Beyond. So you're like, oh crap, the pressure. And from there, I guess I just showed out and I impressed, and I've been there ever since. And it's been one of my favorite places to work. And I owe a lot of credit to Beyond for helping like my career. A lot of opportunities have come from that. So I made the right decision, I guess, going to help out every Thursday.
My last question for you, Bobby, where we are kind of chastised, I guess, for going after scoops here on this show. So I'm going after a pretty big scoop asking you this. What can you tell us about Max Caster and MJF and this relationship that they have? Because I see it on the social media and I feel like you might have some insight to this. So what kind of insight can you give us?
I don't want to give too much, but romance is in the air.
All right. Max is playing hard to get out here. Or not MJF, the other Max.
Yeah, I know what you were
Jacob.
talking about. Oh, no. Caster's not playing hard to get.
No, not at all.
No. Yeah, man. I think there's some sparks there, though. I think there definitely is.
Well, we will see. We'll see if we can get MJF to react.
Hopefully that was enough of a scoop.
Yeah, well, I'll put this in a headline. It'll pop off.
No, do not do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I could have just went zip. No headlines from this show.
We're getting a headline out of the.
Well, you get a headline, but not from that.
Yeah,
not from that.
That was.
Yeah, the theme song. The theme song.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Bobby. Let everybody know where they can find you at.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at the Bobby Orlando.
There you go, Bobby. Thank you so much, Joel.
And I'm on TikTok, but like I don't know, that thing's. I use it sometimes just to make silly little videos at the Bobby Orlando.
Listen, we love synergy. So if you just look up the Bobby Orlando anywhere, You're going
I
to
make it easy.
There you go. Come and catch Bobby and a plethora of others over at the Creative Pro Beyond Boundaries this Sunday at the Knights of Columbus in Lynbrook, New York.
Now you can't talk.
No, I can't talk. I do it for a living. So here we are. Looking forward to your tag match. You and Dr. Cool are going to take on Birds of the Sun. Bobby, thank you so much for joining us. And
Bobby Jr.
Bobby Jr. Yes.
Bobby Jr. was there, and we love having you both. Thank you so much for your morning time.
I loved being here. Have a great rest of your show and your day.
Thank you, Bobby. You too, man. Have a great day. Bobby Orlando, everybody. I told you he was going to bring energy, Joel. That man had not had coffee, and he had that much energy.
Dude just absolutely had every bit of energy that we needed for this morning. Good stuff. Really enjoy him. I like him.
Fantastic. I like how he's like, no, don't do that headline on MaxCaster and MJF.
Well, it's kind of on the record, so it's kind of going on.
I won't write an article on that. MJF would 100% react to it. Caster might even react to it. I love their Twitter banter that they have going on. It's fantastic.
I'm glad you asked that question because it's certainly a burning question on everybody's mind. Do you think Max has friends in wrestling and that Max Caster is that friend?
Max Caster might be that friend.
I think Max Caster could be that friend. Because, I mean, certainly it's not going to be Billy Gunn who's enjoying retirement on socials everywhere you see literally everyone posting for him about retirement. Whereas Billy's like, what? I didn't do anything. I just took my boots off. They were too tight.
He had a rock in his shoe or something, and he had to get his boots off so he could walk to the back properly. It happens. You know how that goes, Joel.
I do. I fully understand. I've had it happen multiple times. No one's ever asked me if I'm going to retire over it.
I wish you would. God.
That's true. I would. You think I'd get a severance?
Absolutely not.
No, didn't think so either. I love that in the chat. Bobby Jr. should avoid Ohio at all.
Probably. Look, if Bobby Orlando, Bobby Jr. Come to another AEW event, I'll gladly sit front row and take care of Bobby Jr. while Bobby is wrestling. I don't want anything bad happening to Bobby Jr., so I'll gladly help out with Bobby Jr. and Bobby Orlando at AEW.
You think we can get a Bobby Jr. exclusive?
Ooh, maybe. I mean, Bobby Orlando was friendly. He seemed to like us well enough, so maybe we can get a Bobby Jr. exclusive.
Yeah, it seemed pretty cool. I think the GOATest would allow us to interview the GOAT.
Yeah,
the emotional support GOAT.
I think it'd be good. Good.
What else is good? We got some time left. We got Dynamite tonight. It's a little early to start previewing Dynamite. There's a lot announced, but what else are we going to talk about? Because there was, again, not a ton going on Raw. There is the Great American Bash or NXT coming next Sunday. On
this
Friday.
Sunday. It's this Sunday.
This Sunday, but I mean, like the next time we're on the air, it's still going to be coming up this coming Sunday.
Right. Okay. Sure.
So we can preview that, or at least run down that card next time we're on the air together. So what do we do? What are we gonna
do? Joel, what has happened to this show? You're supposed to take control of this, and now you're just not. You're not. Things are falling apart because of you today, Joel.
They really are. They really
gotta
are.
say.
Yeah. How about Eddie Kingston and his G1 match this morning? Ishii.
Yeah, ooh. I heard it was really good. I woke up and I have not watched it yet. I was busy listening to Grayson Waller interviews. And by the way, all right, this is what we're going to talk about now. Since I stumbled upon, because since you are floundering for content here, Joel. Grayson Waller. I've said it on the show like a lot over the past week. Like he's in a way better position than Austin Theory is. I think he's way more equipped to be in that role and should be more in that role than Austin Theory. They clearly trust him. They put him in there with Cena. They put him in there with Edge. He was on Ariel Helwani's show earlier this week, and he mentioned, and this was also reported, Undertaker in Detroit. We don't know what Undertaker's doing in Detroit. He doesn't have a one-man show lined up for that weekend, which usually he's at these events because he's doing the show. He doesn't have anything like that scheduled. Maybe he's just there visiting friends, right? Maybe Undertaker's not going to be on the show at all. But Last time we saw Undertaker was American Badass Undertaker, Detroit Kid Rock, blah, blah, blah. If thinking we get an Undertaker on like a Grayson Waller effect, and Grayson Waller, he's mimicked Undertaker before when he did the casket match on NXT. We think Grayson Waller gets that spot now with Undertaker. This dude, he's good, man. He's got the MMA stuff. He talked a lot about Conor McGregor and Chael Sonnen, how he's kind of borrowed from those personas. He gets it. He 100% gets it.
All I keep thinking about is Undertaker on the Grayson Waller effect at SummerSlam, and Waller just gets completely upstaged, and he starts like Undertaker starts doing his one dead man show for the entire building while Grayson Waller just sits there completely perplexed as to what's going on. That's the only, hey man, let's talk about my aversion to cucumbers and pickles. And Grayson Waller's just like, what the hell are we doing here? I don't know if Grayson Waller and Undertaker is something I really want to see ever in my lifetime. Ever.
Why?
It's not of any entertainment value to me. What's annoying, I'm trying not to sneeze. What's annoying is that the Undertaker American Badass thing happened with Bray Wyatt, and at the time it was so talked about, and it was such a thing. Like, what'd you say to Bray Wyatt? And Taker kayfabe, he wouldn't tell him. And now Bray Wyatt's nowhere to be found. The whatever the situation is, he's not on TV and whatever. But I don't know if I really want to see Undertaker carted out for another appearance. It's just it doesn't do anything for me.
Wow, you're hating on the Undertaker. Now, I kind of get what you're saying, but they're clearly using Waller as a position with these legends, right? I don't know what their plan is for Grayson Waller, because they did the thing with Cena, he got beat up. They did the thing with Edge, he lost, and then he lost the 4-way match. I don't know if they have like an actual substantial push for him, and I don't want this for him. I don't want this for him at all, because it's not a good position to be in. They can't Elias this guy. They can't have him just come out there, get interrupted, get beat up by legends, and it never goes anywhere. He never gets a match. He never gets heat back or anything like that. He's a good enough talker, much like Elias was a good enough like performer, even though you discredit his guitar playing skills. He's a good enough talker to where he can get himself still over and still in a high position. You can't just continue to get beat up by these guys and get nothing back on them, though. I don't think that does as much for any of them than WWE thinks it does.
Play your own solos and you will get the praise you deserve, Jeremy Lambert. We've been through this. As for The Undertaker, okay, let's move beyond The Undertaker. We're talking about, potential legends that could come in and work a match with Grayson Waller. That'd be fun. We're in Detroit for SummerSlam. It's going to be a big event, a lot of people. You know who you bring out? You bring out and I'm serious about this, by the way. I'm not like, this isn't a bit. From Battle Creek, Michigan, you bring out Rob Van Dam, and you let those two have a great one-on-one contest. RVD does not look bad losing a match to Grayson Waller. And on top of it, Waller then gets to say, I beat, the hometown guy, and I beat the legend. I beat the ECW original. And that's just that's more icing on the Grayson Waller cake.
I'm fine with that. I love that idea. I'm big RVD fan. If they can get him for this show to do a one-off and have a match, I don't think he'd mind losing. He should lose. These legends at some point got to lose, because they got to lose, because the new guys got to get over. The new guys just can't keep getting beat up in these, I don't want to call them throwaway segments, because they're memorable segments, but if they're only remembered because, okay, the legend looked great and the new guy just kept getting beat up, it doesn't do anything for it. We've seen this example again a million times. Elias got completely cut by all of this, and people were very high on Elias of like, oh, it's going to lead to something, and it led to nothing. Heath was a different example, because like he was supposed to be kind of a goofy kind of guy, to where it wasn't gonna be this big deal for him, but that certainly didn't help him. Look who it worked for And look who it worked for, because he beat these dudes. Randy Orton. Randy Orton actually beat the Legends. And yeah, he lost to Undertaker when maybe he shouldn't have. And I think he lost that match to Hogan, but he was still like, he got one up on these guys where Elias never got one up. Grayson Waller needs to get one up on these guys. And so RVD is a opportunity where you could do that and not lose anything. I'm fine with Undertaker coming out, by the way. And if Waller just beats him, not like in a match in official capacity, but he kicks him in the nuts, and then Undertaker is just, kind of laid out and everything. He destroys the motorcycle, whatever you got to do here. Like, let Waller get one up on the Undertaker. It ain't hurting the Undertaker.
He steals the motorcycle. He doesn't break the motorcycle. He steals it flat out.
He tries to get it started and it doesn't start.
That's right. Yeah. And then he chains him to the back, and then he drags him through the arena. I know where we're going with this. I see Grayson Waller versus Detroit's own Brandy Rhodes in the chat.
Oh, Brandy Rhodes would beat the out of Grayson Waller. Are you kidding me?
Oh man, open mic night wide open at that point, because we'll be doing the Grayson Waller effect. We'll do the whole nine. Let's go.
That's the one person nobody in that company wants to smoke with is Brandy Rhodes. Grayson Waller, he talks a good game. He's very good on the mic. He's very sharp and witty and quick. Ain't messing with Brandy Rhodes on the mic though.
Can't touch that ever.
Cut to pieces by Brandy.
But yeah, my feeling is if you do anything with Waller on the show, you bring out a legend. Yeah, I get it, Undertaker, Big Pop, but like, I think I would rather see someone like Rob Van Dam. I would rather see someone who is not the typical gonna cart you out and the fans are gonna cheer. Because it feels like Undertaker, like, yeah, it's special, but like we've grown past the need for the Undertaker.
Randall? What about Randall? At least you could build something off of that, because Randall is active still going to work.
Yes, you could do Randy Orton. It's not a bad idea. I don't know where you go from there with Randy, because you got to do the RK Bro thing. But that's the thing. You got to finish off the RK Bro story as well.
Yeah, Waller just beats up Riddle.
That's a face turn, Jeremy. We've established this.
Grayson Waller is a baby face in my book. Are you kidding me?
That's true. The way he operates, I agree. He's calling out The Rock, saying he's technically unemployed.
Oh, so good. Rock ain't showing up in Detroit. Waller mentioned Austin in this interview as well with Owani, and I don't know if Austin has any plans to be in Detroit. Waller does that stunner, but he's got to change that finish, by the way. Like, you can't, let's start the move outside of the ring and then roll in and do this wacky rolling stunner type of thing. You got to get something that is a little bit quick hitter, more quick hitter than that. You want to like pull it off as a cool spot in the match? Sure. Finisher? I don't like it.
No, he's got to use that drop kick.
I prefer the drop kick over that stunner.
Yeah, I don't hate the idea of Austin coming in and doing a Grayson Waller effect. That would be fun. And it ends with the kick wham stunner and then a beer bath. And it doesn't make Waller look dumb, because he will have hopefully held himself on the mic against Austin. And we all know how an Austin segment ends 9 times out of 10. And it's fine with me. And I think most people would just enjoy the moment. Waller can come out on SmackDown the next week and just be like, I went toe-to-toe with Austin and I won. And he could just be that POS heel that, says I'm better than Austin on the microphone, yada, yada. And then people will be like, you got stunnered or whatever. They'll chant, we want tables.
But it's the same issue if you did the same thing with The Undertaker. What's the difference? What's the difference between Austin and Undertaker in this scenario? Except you don't like The Undertaker, clearly.
It's funny because The Undertaker was, and in many ways still is, my favorite wrestler. But no, it's not even that. It's that Austin, when Austin was done, Austin was done. With Undertaker, we spent so many years being like, is this it? Is this it? Is this it? Like, we spent a good solid 5 or 6 years wondering if this is The Undertaker's last hurrah. And then we finally got it, and they still brought him back. to do segments. Whereas Austin, it's like, yeah, he kept coming back, but at least we knew he wasn't coming back for, to build a match. We knew what to expect, with the exception of the Kevin Owens segment or WrestleMania match.
Isn't Undertaker now in that same position? Like, he ain't coming back for any type of match. He's been gone since 36. Like,
But
he's
the
he's
problem
done.
is we continue to wonder, or people begin.
No, we don't. No,
because
I'd
people
wonder
say
more about
Austin.
Austin. Austin's wrestled more recently than Taker. I'd wonder more about him if he comes out there and does a stunner. I'm like, oh shit, Austin's gonna wrestle. We worry about Michaels, dude. Remember when Waller was doing the stuff with Michaels? People were like, is Michaels gonna get back in there with Waller? And he's, I don't have any worries about Undertaker. And if you do, you're gonna have these same worries with literally everyone that you do it with. You're just hating on the Undertaker right now, Joel. That's what you're doing.
Maybe the bigger issue is Undertaker has taken the bloom off his rose. He has completely finished being the character. And again, you mentioned he can come out as American Badass. That's okay. Sure, he could do that. But let's say he doesn't want to, and he's like, I'm gonna put on the black hat and I'm gonna say rest in peace. Let's say that's what he wants to do. I can't, as the saying goes, suspend my disbelief for the guy who has been literally going on a WWE press tour and one-man show for the last few years, telling stories and being Mark Calloway. I can't do that anymore because Mark Calloway decided himself, I don't need to do it anymore. Like, I'm done. I don't need to be Mr. Rest in Peace anymore. And for that, I'm like, I don't need it. I don't see the value in it. Whereas with Stone Cold Steve Austin, I believe he's never really changed from that person.
Okay, but what if Taker does do American Badass? Because I would imagine, again, Detroit, Kid Rock playing All America. I would imagine he's doing American Badass. I think that was the reason they did it at Raw that way too, is because I don't think he even thinks he can do that character anymore. I think he thinks like, oh no, I kind of gotta be just Mark Calloway Undertaker. I can't do Dead Man Undertaker at this point.
Some fans will love it. Other fans will absolutely. And I would be one of those absolutely. But the reason for that is because I have the inside baseball. And other fans do too. There's just a political problem to that. And again, not everyone shares my point of view when it comes to that stuff, and that's okay. But like, for me, the last thing I want to see is that. I just don't care for that.
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong on this. If Undertaker comes out, Kid Rock, American Badass, I understand your viewpoint on that. I'm looking at it from a wrestling perspective of, if Undertaker does that,
That's Mondays.
yeah, some weeks, most weeks,
Yeah, most weeks.
not every week though. If he comes out as American Badass, chokeslam Waller, to me it's the same thing as Steve Austin coming out as Stone Cold Stunner on Waller. Same thing, same return, same wonderment. I still don't fully like either of them because I don't want Waller to just continue to get beat up by legends and get no comeback on anything. This is where he's got to actually come back. And look, I understand you ain't going to beat Austin in a match. You ain't going to beat Undertaker in a match type of thing. But it can't just keep being the same thing, because then it just gets diminished, and Waller gets diminished until people are like, okay, cool, he talks a big game and stuff, but like, he don't beat any of these dudes. And at some point, you got to beat someone of that stature, whether that is a Randy Orton who has come up to that stature, whether that is an Edge who is at that stature, put on that pedestal. You got to beat one of these guys after you keep getting beat down by the legends. And if you just keep getting beat down by legends, you're Elias.
I mean, what if it's nothing and Waller just has a segment on the SmackDown going into SummerSlam and it doesn't do anything but just introduce a new opponent?
That's very possible. It is very possible that like there actually is no big plan for Grayson Waller on this, but he's doing media, which a lot of people do media. I understand that, but he's doing big media. Helwani's show is kind of a biggish deal. He's doing media, and he's clearly been trusted in big spots. Like, you don't get that Jake Paul or Logan Paul thing right before at the O2. You definitely don't get John Cena without that being a big trusted spot. You don't get Edge at MSG first match back off of a broken leg unless they got seemingly they clearly trust you in these big spots. So if they have a big legend spot at SummerSlam, I would imagine that's going to Grayson Waller.
Yeah, I agree with the setup. I just don't think we're gonna see Waller do this. And again, I could be wrong. The only person that to me makes sense if you're gonna have him out there to win something is Rob Van Dam or another wrestler who's returning from injury who's been off the card for a while. I don't even know who that could be. It's not going to be like Johnny Gargano or something because it's got to be someone that like elicits a big reaction. Randy
Gargano
Orton.
Pop. He'd get a big pop.
I don't think it would be the same as.
It wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't think it would be the same. I think that would do well on a Monday Night Raw or on a SmackDown. They're in Dayton the night before Michigan. I thought they were going to be at Little Caesars the night before in Detroit, but I guess that's not happening.
I should go to that show. That's not too far.
Oh, there you go.
For that SmackDown. Yeah, I can go
at the Nutter Center.
Maybe. Probably not.
The Nutter Center. Anyway, I was under the impression for some reason that they were going to be in Detroit because the last few events that they've held, they've done 2 nights at the same venue. But again, that's like they were in Montreal, they were in Puerto Rico, they were in London, they were basically in places where it made sense to run the same venue multiple times. This is just a touring SummerSlam regular show.
Gotcha. Yeah, usually they do run the venue in the same city for the SmackDown. So yeah, it's surprising, a little bit surprising to hear that that's where they're at. Yeah.
And if that's the case, then that means the SmackDown before is not going to be, and that's another reason why it's so fun to have the SmackDown before the PLE be so built up, is because you're in the town already. You're going to have a lot of the same crowd that's going to attend the PLE at the event the night before. Instead, we're not getting that this year. It's just going to be, okay, we're in Dayton tonight, and then we're going to be in Detroit the next day. So it's a little different of a story to unfold. So we'll see. I think most of that SmackDown is going to be spent on the tribal combat stuff, and then the US title match that'll happen. I'm assuming it's going to happen there.
Yeah, you're putting a lot into the US title match happening on this SmackDown.
Certainly not happening on on SummerSlam, because they have not said at all that it was going to be a SummerSlam match.
Oh, they haven't, and it might just be a 3-way. Escobar already defeated Theory, so maybe Ray defeats Escobar, and it's like, yeah, let's just do a 3-way.
Oh, I would hate however they get to that. It would have to be like Theory gets involved in the match for Ray and Santos, and then you have Adam Pearce come out and just be like, nope, I've had it. You've gotten too involved in this. It's now a triple threat, and it's going to be next week in Dayton. Easy as that.
I mean, that's could very much be what it is.
Yep. And then the next night it's LA night in Detroit. Yeah.
You're pulling for this. Again, I hope you're right. Yeah. Oh, Dolph is always a good shout of just the Ziggler coming out and just losing.
You know who else is good on the mic? Me. You know who should have been talking to AJ Styles and to Stone Cold Steve Austin and to every legend, John Cena, all the way down? Me. It should have been me. And then Grayson Waller is just like, you what, mate? And then they have a really piss poor match, and everyone remembers that Dolph Ziggler in 2012 is different from 2023. Anyway, so AEW Dynamite is tonight, and I guess we can now run down that card. Main event, I think, is Moxley and Claudio versus the Lucha Bros versus the Best Friends. Is that what we're, or actually it might be Orange Cassidy and AR Fox, because that's the only title.
No, Orange Cassidy opens.
Well, normally yes, but when there's only one title match on the show, it's typically reserved for the main event. And so far, there's only one advertised title match, and it's that one.
I think Orange Cassidy still opens. The main event, neither of these are feel like main events on this show.
I think Darby and
No, Darby and Swerve closes. Darby and Swerve closes.
I think either if they don't open, then they close. I think Darby and Swerve open the show.
Nah, Darby and Swerve closes.
Okay, so I'm gonna flip flop it. My feeling is Darby and Swerve open the show, Cassidy and Fox close the show, and then middle of the match or like 9 o'clock is the triple threat tag.
Okay, I think it's the opposite. I think middle is that tag, but Darby and Swerve closes and Orange opens. There's no intrigue in Orange and AR Fox to close the show with that. That's we know Orange Cassidy's winning. AR Fox, love him, he ain't winning that title. So you got to have at least a main event with a little bit of intrigue. There's no intrigue in that main event.
Yeah, but Tony has done this time and again where if there's only one title on the line, it's the main event.
Has he?
Yeah, he has.
Do you have proof?
I can go back to Grand Slam 2021 where the women main evented and it was the only title on the line.
Okay, so you're going back almost 2 years.
Yes, there are other instances of this. I'm pretty sure that when Orange Cassidy won the international championship in Toronto, that may have been also the only title on the line that night. Other than the Ring of Honor, I don't know if that was a Ring of Honor championship match. Jericho and Danielson.
There's always a title on the line on these friggin' shows.
You're just going back in Dynamite past.
Trying to look for Dynamite stuff and looking at just titles. It's Blind Eliminator tag, Owen Hart tag, or tournament. Sorry, not tag. Tornado tag team. Regardless, I think you're wrong. That's my point.
Wow.
I think you're wrong because I don't think there's unless they have a strong closing segment. If they have a strong closing segment, then fine. Maybe they go with Orange Cassidy and AR Fox as the main event match. But I don't know what the closing segment is going to be in that case. I have no idea what the actual closing segment.
A new challenger for Orange Cassidy?
Who's coming out?
That's the thing. I don't know who it could be.
Yeah,
they got to start giving us a couple of people who feel like legitimate threats again. Not that they haven't, but it's like, can we build up someone again? Can we get to that point? Jack Perry, the new FTW champion.
Here you go, Joel. Here's where you're wrong. This is a TBS title, so I'm sure you'll dismiss it.
Yeah, that doesn't count at all.
Yeah.
I'm dismissing it before because you even know it's dismissible.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, most of the time there's just 2 title matches on all of these Dynamites and stuff. They always just have multiple title matches on this stuff. If you have a new
go ahead. No, go.
I say if you have a new challenger for Orange, fine, but it's not a strong main event when I at least presume who's going to win. Darby and Swerve, there's intrigue. They didn't technically close Rampage, but that was the biggest thing from Rampage, the Royal Rampage thing and the ending to that. Swerve and Nick Wayne got the main event match spot the other week. Swerve's a player, and we know Darby's a player. Okay, we know Darby is though.
No.
Darby
main event slot. Because that was before
they
did the talkie talk for the 5th man.
Yeah. The match spot. But again, that's where this would be if it's Orange and AR Fox. I don't think they're going off the air with Orange and AR Fox as the last shot of everything. Either you get a new challenger or you're doing a talking segment.
Let me give you one other reason why they do this. Look at, and I know talking about ratings is such a weird thing to do, but we also know that historically Tony really likes to look at the minute by minute and see what's important in the quarters. How does Dynamite normally trend when you're looking at the quarters? It's up and then it kind of steadily goes down in the last time. Those Orange Cassidy matches, though, they are usually part of a rise. So you put it on towards the end, then at least you have possibly a bit of a what do you call it? A valley throughout the night. Open with Darby and Swerve because it's a big match. Close with Orange Cassidy because he's a big draw. And that way things kind of stay a little more consistent beginning and end of the night.
When was the last time Orange Cassidy actually closed the show?
That's a good question. Hey, you know what we're definitely going to get right, though? At 9:23 p.m. Eastern, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Taya Valkyrie will have a match. So that's happening.
Orange Cassidy just doesn't close shows, man. He just
I know.
doesn't.
Believe me, I was the first one, not the first one, but I'm someone who consistently points this out.
Yeah.
I'm very consistently like, no, if it's Orange Cassidy in a match, it's opening the show. However, this is one time where I'm like, I don't see any other titles on the line. So to me, that means that the Orange Cassidy match goes on last.
Okay. You could be right. You could be right. By the way, AEW Dynamite in April, TNT Championship, Wardlow faced Powerhouse Hobbs. That was when Wardlow won the title, if you remember that.
No, that was an awful. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, the Four Pillars tournament match between Sammy and Jack Perry closed the show. So one title, only title match on the show, did not close.
There you go. One time. So now we're 1-1 with our statement.
I'm sure there's more if I
you got to dig
a little bit more research.
You're talking through it while you're looking at these options. I love it here. That's what we're doing.
There's so many title matches on these Dynamite shows. So many. All right, here we go. March, World Tag Team titles. It was the second match on the show. The Guns defeated Top Flight. The show closed with Omega and Vikingo, which was not a mega title match. That was the only title match on the show.
So what? Okay, so now looking at this lineup for tonight, who is Vikingo and who is Kenny Omega?
Swerve Strickland and Darby Allin,
who are on the show almost every single week.
They like Swerve and Darby. I don't blame them. They're both good.
Yes,
they like Swerve and Darby.
Yes. Darby and Swerve opening the show means Christian gets in and out before the Denny's Grand Slam Senior Special goes out. Okay. Where are they tonight? They're in Albany. So they can get
February. Oh, look, my God. Okay. February, AEW All Atlantic title. Opened the show. This was before it was leveled up. Orange Cassidy against Wheeler Yuta. Only title match on the show. That opened it. Do you know what closed this show?
What?
Jonathan Moxley against Evil Uno.
Hold on. Wasn't there a segment after that with the Elites, or at least with the Blackpool Combat Club?
There was. Yeah, there was a segment. But you said one title match usually closes. One title match didn't close. Orange Cassidy involved.
Yes, usually is not. Listen, people are just.
I pointed out 3 examples, by the way, Joel.
Pointed out 2.
3.
You pointed out 2, one of which involved an international talent, and Tony touting it as a dream match for like a solid week.
Okay, but it was one title match, and it did not close the show. One title match was on that show.
We'll see where it goes. Pac and Gravity have a one-on-one tonight too.
Have you made the joke? Make the joke. Has anybody made the joke?
Gravity's fairly new to the scene, so we're looking forward to him and Pac tonight.
Does last week technically count? There was only one title match on the show last week, Joel, and it opened. It did not close the show.
Blood and Guts does not count on a show.
But there was only one title match, and it did not close the show.
No.
Anyway, Joel Pearl has been wrong a lot on this show. Everyone, please leave money for Joel to pick up his feelings and make him feel better about himself, as he has been just completely ego-trodden and bruised throughout this entire show, as I've negated every single maybe halfway decent point.
No, you haven't. What are you talking about? Give me the money, but no, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
No, you haven't.
Orange Cassidy is opening this show.
We'll see.
They're not closing.
We'll hear from MJF and Adam Cole, baby.
They're not closing. That might close the show.
That might close if you bring out FTR. Absolutely.
Yeah, that'll probably. If Orange Cassidy and AR Fox is the main event, MJF and Adam Cole are closing this show.
No Elite on the show tonight, at least advertised.
Yeah, weird.
Do you think CM Punk's showing up because they were just in New Jersey and he stuck around for a few days? Even though I'm a Collision guy. I'm not. Those are his words.
He's a collider.
Now he is, but when he did that first appearance, he was a Collision guy.
Yeah, but now they have a term. They're called colliders. Colliders and dynamitees are their names.
Why not dynamiters?
No, dynamitees.
But why not dynamiters?
I just told you why.
No, you didn't. All you said was dynamitees.
Yeah, because that's what I said. Because dynamitees. They're a t-shirt company, tees instead of ters. It's all layered in wordplay here, Joel. Me and Max Caster, we got this game on lock. We got it all figured out with the wordplay. Get on this level that you cannot currently get on.
No, clearly not. So I'm just going to call it here. Jeremy, plug the stuff. Let's go home.
I don't know what we're plugging. Watch AEW Dynamite tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern on TBS right after the Big Bang Theory. If you want a Big Bang in your theory, watch AEW Dynamite where all of the Big Bangs are big in theory. Headlined by Swerve Strickland against Darby Allin. Opening with Orange Cassidy defending the leveled up AEW International title against veteran and well-respected trainer and legend and personality AR Fox. We also have a great three-way tag team match for everybody coming off the heels of ROH Death Before Dishonor. It's going to be Blackpool Combat Club members Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli, who were involved in a tremendous blood and guts match last week on AEW Dynamite. They're going to be taking on the Lucha Bros, former ROH tag team champions, Penta El Zero Miedo and Rey Fenix, and also the best friends, Chucky T and Trent, one of the best teams in AEW and ROH history. We will hear from MJF and Adam Cole ahead of their AEW tag team title match this Saturday on AEW Collision, which airs live at 8 p.m. Eastern on TNT, when they will face FTR. But before they face FTR, we are going to hear from them tonight on AEW Dynamite. Plus, Britt Baker is going to take on Taya Valkyrie in a hard-hitting women's match as Britt Baker continues to try to get on track against Taya Valkyrie, who picked up a big victory over Sky Blue. And folks, you don't want to miss this when the man who remembers Gravity will face Pac. He remembers, Joel. Gravity remembers Pac. Tune in, AEW Dynamite, tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern on TBS.
Follow Fight Talk _.
Thank you to all the great AEW fans.
Are we good? Yeah.
Justified. This is awesome, Chance.
There you go. Tanahashi versus Alex Shelley at Multiverse United 2.
Hell yeah, that match rules.
That looks like a good match. I am at Joel Pearl. JOELPARL. Go leave a thumbs up on the video and subscribe to us here at Fightful Overbooked. See you at the next one. It is like listening to text to speech with him. I swear to God. Till then, we'll see you in the next one.